And now this is going to be a long old video to make, and I apologise for the really, really horrible hair, but I still haven't washed it after my tiny little ear op. I'm tempted to push on through and see if it'll start self-cleaning. Hold your breath. Anyway, this week's clip is going to be about how you transform this space into a place where you can hold a party. I'm not having a big party, but I am having a few people around for supper. And this room doubles up as the dining room, very rarely. No, occasionally we have somebody round. So I thought I'd make a clip about turning a workspace into somewhere glamorous and party nice. And if my hair is no cleaner by the weekend, I'll wash it, I promise. Okay, if you find any of the tips or tricks useful, please buy me a coffee. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got new clips coming up. And stick with me and we'll transform this space into Party Central. Well, relatively. Come on, let's get on. Right, it's several days later, and slowly, you can hear probably by the fact that it's quite echoey in here, the studio is having a clear up. And my plan is, I'm going to turn around. Oh, look at this, you can see. So this surface here, muddy surface here, is going to be the drinks table. And I'm going to have a great big flower arrangement on it and lots of nice fizzy wine and things. And then, because I really hate clearing up in the middle of a dinner, I think it is much better to, if possible, have everything laid out. So once you've sat down, you've sat down. So this table here is going to be for the food, and everything's going to be arranged down it buffet style, because then people can help themselves. I also hate being given a plate of food and expected to eat it. I like to choose what I'd like to eat, and since this is my evening, I can do what I like. And then the long table, two not matching tables, are going to be where we sit and eat. And depending on the temperature, we'll have the doors open to the garden or not. I'm going to go for big flower arrangements. And the reason I'm going for big flower arrangements is because of the wow factor. If you do lots and lots of little flower arrangements, A, they get lost and you don't see them in amongst the bottles of wine and water and all of that. But B, they take an enormous amount of time. Individual vases need washing up and sorting out, and one bud at a time, and you put them on the tablecloth and they mark the tablecloth. And oh no, I'm going to do a big thing for the bar table, a big thing for this table, and I've got a small French cafe table right down the other end, and I might do something for that, or I might not. Depends on the time. But first, I better go and iron my tablecloths and possibly wash my hair. And I haven't bought the food yet, so, you know, let's relax. Okay, onwards and upwards. Right, so I have cut a certain amount of stuff, and in the end, I have got 4 vessels, to speak like an Instagrammer, a matching pair of pressed glass vases, which I have gridded with tape, a big washing up bowl, a Victorian thing for putting water in your bedroom, and the matching jug. It's called a jug and ewer. Or no, it's not. It's called a ewer and basin, if you're going to be exact. And these are going to be the containers for my flowers. So I have, this is my crop for using, and those are my containers. And so I'm going to do them all at the same time for speed, and also so that I use all the material up evenly. In the background, you can hear my friend Katie, who is a very, very talented artist, kindly sweeping the studio floor. Do you want to give a wave, Katie? Hello, here's Katie. So we start with the Lonicera fragrantissima, or winter flowering honeysuckle. Very simple. And so now we've added some viburnum opulus, the big green balls, and some zingy euphorbia, which I love dearly, but the euphorbia has not gone into the small pressed glass vases because I don't want to cut the stems again and get that horrible caustic sap everywhere. So now I have added a bit of honesty, white honesty, and very pale pink apple blossom. And the reason I want to go very pale pink is I'm about to go orange. And there they are. Look at the orange tulips, mostly ballerina. You see? Good colour, isn't it? And of the camassia, the blue camassia, is, it's directly opposite on the colour wheel, which is why it's so successful. And the white just cools it down a little bit. Right, let's start the tablescaping. They're sweet, aren't they? They're just little pressed glass bonbonniere. And they've got little low arrangements. The skill with table centres is that I wonder if I can do this. They shouldn't be taller than your fist from the place, from the table. And these are not quite. And so the flowers are on the table and I'm beginning to lay the tables. And you can see how those dinky little bonbonniere are suddenly quite big in the space. It's worth not making enormous table centres because they do use up a lot of space. When you're thinking about doing an event, be careful because you might have, big ideas for the flowers, but actually it's worth looking at what else you need to have on the table. By the time I've got everything else on here, there's not going to be much room. But the big one on the main table, that's where all the food's going to go. And underneath, this is my flower studio, so it's not a beautiful place. You can see underneath are all pots and things, but a few big focal flower arrangements takes attention away from the untidiness around the edge. This is my flower studio. It is a working space, but having the flowers up here, this is the bar. Underneath, watering cans, wine boxes, but hopefully having this lovely big jug here will take the focus away from the untidiness. Really, I do like it. And there's room all the way around for all the food. And I do like the little bonbonniere. It's the door going. So we're nearly ready. You can see there's the bar table. There will be lovely a fizzy wine and a rosé wine and some fizzy water to go with it, but it's all in the fridge and I'm not going to get it out yet. And this will be the food. Cheese and pudding will be at this end. All blue and white china, mismatched. I don't have 20 serving places of china, but I have a nice mismatched collection of blue and white china, so it's all blue and white. So pudding and cheese at this end, and main course will be at this end. Obviously all that's still to come. Doesn't matter that the tablecloth is a bit crunkled. It sort of works in a vintagey way, and when all the food is on the tables, then it will be fine. And then here is the table all done. Water glasses, obviously, but not wine glasses, because everyone will have those when they come in. And again, it's all mismatched and pretty. I like some personal touches. Oh, I haven't put the salt and pepper out. Who laid the table? As my mother would say. Here's Katie. Secretly, up the other end, she's waving. She's still splitting dahlias in the log shed. But anyway, look. There is a scrambled table. As tablescapes go, it's got the tall candlesticks, which I really like because they bring the roof down and raise the height of the space, but without taking up too much room. And I haven't had to make any big hanging doodahs. But altogether, it's very pretty. Hey, look, Katie's still standing at the end waving.
I need to ask you a question about dahlia tubers.
Yes, okay, I'm going to stop the thing. So there you go. That is my studio transformed into a party space. And it is still my studio, and I'm not pretending it's not, and it's still full of studio-ish stuff. But by bringing the flowers in and the table detail, I'm putting the focus of the room onto the table. And hopefully everyone will walk in and say, oh, it looks lovely. Partly because it looks lovely, but partly because they know what it normally looks like. Anyway, have a lovely evening, everybody. I keep having to film it because the light in here gets better and better and better. But slowly, slowly, the feast is assembling. Sorry about the silver paper on the couscous royale, but this is all to go with the very, very, very slowly cooked mutton from Kimber's Farm Shop. Very keen, we love a bit of mutton. If you're going to eat good quality meat, eat it not too often and eat the best you can afford. Anyway, that's me banging on. But look how the light is very pretty. Look, mismatched jugs. Don't have to be too matchy-matchy, mismatched knives and forks. The point is that it's friends and family coming together to have a nice time. I think it's very important to do place names because otherwise, if people are slow to sit down, you end up with people who live together sitting next to each other. And while they may love each other dearly, it's quite good to mix it up a bit and make people, take people a tiny bit out of their comfort zone, but in a nice way, and make them talk to people they don't know very well. It's very pretty light, isn't it? I like it anyway. And then later in the evening, it all sounds like this. And later on in the evening, you get the pudding out, and it looks like this. Chat and food. Happy days.